Good morning. I am feeling surprisingly okay for someone who woke up at 3 in the morning with more chest pains. So I'm not sure what's going to happen today. I'm kind of partly just waiting for that to bite me in the behind later. But for now, it's working. So we're just gonna go with it. Yes, I have a couple of bits planned today. I need to do some more Christmas crochet that I'm not going to show you. It wasn't really working the other day, and I know it's going to be frustrating to hear this and for me not to say what it is, but I just need to vent a little bit because I made some of these things the other week and they turned out fine, and then I was making them the other day and it just wasn't working, and it was very frustrating, and I'm thinking maybe I used the wrong hook size. So I'm going to try with a different hook size today and hope that that works, because it was just really getting on my nerves. I only actually made one the other day because it was just frustrating me too much. But the plan is to make some more of those today. Might start fellowship, because why not? And I will also be getting back to work on my cardigan, which I have here, because after some kind of putting it out of my mind last night, I think what I've planned is going to work. I think it's going to work. So I'm going to get back on it today. And so we are here. We've got the sleeves, obviously I added yesterday. They're all there. I do need to sew up the underarm holes from where the sleeves were added on. But I think I should be able to get a considerable amount done on this today. And it will work. I've decided it's going to work. So everything's going to be fine. So this is going to work. The Christmas presents are going to work. I'm just going to do it by sheer willpower today. That's how today's going to go. I'm just going to sorry, I've got hair in my eye. My hair's still mostly wet, but I dry my fringe. I don't dry the rest of my hair because I hate drying my hair. So my fringe gets dried and the rest has to air dry. But yes, I am going to force everything to work today, whether it likes it or not, because I've had a few days where I've had to kind of take a seat back and just let things happen, and I am done with letting things happen now, and I'm going to make things happen. So that's the vibe we're going for today, apparently. I may have a lesson later. Just need to get that confirmed. So I'm not fully sure whether I have work tonight, but I'm going to act like I do and prepare like I do. But apart from that, it's going to be a good day as well. Not that doing my lessons aren't good, but I have another Twitch stream this evening. I'm going to be on Stardew Valley because I love a bit of Stardew. And yes, it's going to be a good day. I'm deciding, forcing it to be good. But we are going to do Advents. We're going to start off with Advents. And I'm getting to the point in The Hobbit now where I just want to keep reading. Like last night when I put the book down, I very nearly just carried on to the next chapter, and it's actually more difficult than I thought to get to the end point for that day and close it and put it down. But I'm enjoying the read-along situation, but it's very definitely not my usual style of reading. So that's taken a little bit of adjustment. I haven't picked up another book, which I thought I was going to. I thought I would read 2 books side by side so that I could do my Hobbit stuff and then have another book that I would just read at my own pace. Haven't actually ended up doing that. I've not necessarily found the time to, because I normally read before bed anyway, but that has just been replaced by The Hobbit, and I don't tend to make a habit of just reading in the day unless it's a book that I am seriously gripped by. So I haven't found myself picking up another book. I do need to pick which book I want to do next, because once I finish The Hobbit, I will absolutely want to dive into another one. Part of me is tempted to read The Silmarillion, because I have never actually read that. I've read all the Lord of the Rings books, albeit a while ago. I have read The Hobbit before, again, a while ago, but I've never read The Silmarillion, and there is a part of me that's tempted to go into that. I know it's a very different style. It's not like a traditional sit-down novel, you know, start to end, but I'm kind of getting tempted to read it. And it has been on my list for a while. I've got it on my shelf upstairs. But the more I've kind of immersed myself in Middle-earth stuff this month, the more I've wanted to kind of clarify some details. So maybe in between Christmas and New Year, I will pick up the Silmarillion, finally, after all this time. But yes, Hobbit Advent. We are on day 18, the Desolation of Smaug. Oh, okay, this is gonna be a good one. I'm excited for this. The Desolation of Smaug. Ooh, oh, this is some colours. Oh, okay. Look at what we got going on here. So we got lots of cool colours here. We've got, oh, they're just those flecks of burnt orange. I love those. We've got some yellows, some blues, a couple of greeny purpley speckles. Oh, there's all sorts going on here. Oh, that's exciting. This is going to make a gorgeous fabric. Look at that. That's so pretty. Oh! Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing that one worked up. I will be checking the Discord avidly to see who gets this worked up first. Because obviously, like I said, I'm not working this up yet, but there are several people in the Discord who are doing like the daily Advent things, and they are working on it daily. So I am seeing these colorways worked up, and I'm going to check because I desperately want to see this in a fabric. Oh, that's going to look so cool. Oh, awesome. And let's have a little bit of chocolate as well. 18th, which actually is a door that I kind of accidentally pressed open. I think it happened while I was traveling, while I was carting my advent calendar up and down the M5. But it's fine. I can't believe a week today is Christmas Day. That's nuts. Oh, there we go. Gosh, that was difficult to get out. Yeah, I can't believe it's a week today. That's crazy. It really is. And we have a star. We have a nice star. Yeah, like at this, like on the one hand, I kind of feel ready for it, and on the other, I don't feel nearly ready. Like, I feel like there's loads to do, but then when I sit down and think about what's left to do, it's not all that much. So I think it's one of those things where I'm my own worst enemy, trying to stress about things that aren't there, which is kind of my specialty. But yeah, I don't think there's a huge amount that needs doing, but my brain will make me think there is. So maybe I'll sit down and write a list. That normally helps. Sit down and actually get it down on paper, and then I know what is needed to do, and then I can check it off. As I mentioned, I quite like checking it off. So that might be one of my things to do for today. Let's get a list down. The priority though is posting, because this week the postage dates are going to start coming down, the last posting dates, and I do have a couple of things that need posting. So yeah, that is the first priority, is sort out anything that needs sending off. And then everything else I've got time for. But yeah. So I am going to sign off for this morning. I'm going to... What should I do first? I don't even know. I just want to pick up the cardigan and do that first, but I know I've got to do Christmas stuff. And then for lunch, I'm going to have some leftover soup, which I'm very excited about. I love my own soup. And I always worry that I sound really vain saying that, but I love my own soup. So maybe I'll do that first, because it's getting to be an acceptable time for lunch. So maybe I'll do that first. Yes, I will check back in later. Good evening. Oh, I've had quite a nice day actually, but I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, which is the story of my life. I always oversubscribe. But I've just finished my Twitch stream. It was really nice. I didn't end up having my work thing, which, you know, stuff happens. But yeah, so I didn't end up having that this evening. But I did get a lot of knitting done. I didn't finish the cardigan, and if I'd been keeping to the pattern, I might have finished by now. But because I've had to go like off book and improvise a little bit, it's meant that I haven't just been able to just go and just follow the pattern. I've had to think a little bit, but I'm really not far off. Really not far off. So we are here. So I've got quite a decent section of the creamy white done. We're closing up on the neck area, which I'm trying to show you, but I don't really have enough hands to do it. And I have a rough idea of how I'm going to finish it. I'm just checking, because essentially there are 4 decrease points, like in front of each arm and behind each arm. But at each decrease point, there are 2 stitches, one on each side of the kind of the line, which is where I got confused yesterday. I wasn't counting the fact that there's 2 here and 2 there and 2 there and 2 there. But that's by the by. So I've essentially been picking where my decreases go as to whether I do a decrease everywhere, or whether I just do decreases on the front panel and the back panel and leave the sleeves, whether I just do them on the back panel. So I've been shaping it a little more carefully. So I think it's working. I think it's working out quite well, because I want it to come up decently, like around the neck and especially the back of my neck. So yeah, there's just a little more thought going into it to make it fit exactly the way I want it to, because at this point, you know, I'm already improvising, you know, in for a penny. So I might as well tailor it really specifically to the way that I want it to fit. And I think it's working quite well. So I'm very much anticipating that this will probably be finished tomorrow during our film night, I assume. Provided, no, I almost don't want to say that. Touch wood, provided nothing goes wrong. I've got more white yarn, more creamy white yarn, so that's fine. I'm not going to run out of that. Not with how much I've got left to do anyway. I'm not even expecting to go on to the second ball, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think it's working quite nicely so far. And I'm just being careful with how I do it so that I don't mess it up and ruin it. I'm so excited to get this done. I kind of wanted to have it finished by today, but as I said, the fact that I've started to make it up a little bit has slowed it down somewhat. But other than that, we have sent out loads of Christmas cards just before the last post. I didn't get the Christmas presents all finished, but actually I figure I can do some of that tomorrow during the day. So it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I can get some of those done tomorrow. That should be fine. And what else have I done today? I didn't watch Fellowship in the end. I didn't have like a block of time long enough to really devote to it. And while, you know, because I watch all the Lord of the Rings films about 3 times a year all the way through. So at this point, I'm used to not necessarily finishing them all in one sitting and kind of having it span over a couple of days. But I want it to be a significant period of time. And because I thought I was having this work thing, I thought, no, I don't just want to put it on for an hour. Like, you know, you want to have a decent chunk of it at least in each sitting. So I haven't started it, but I've got plenty of time to sort that out. But what I do need to do is my Hobbit reading. And I actually, last night, I think I mentioned this, last night I actually almost went to read on the next chapter. So I am ready for this. And yeah, that's the rest of my evening, given that it is already 11:15. So there's not much evening left. But yeah, I will head off and good night. Today's chapter only really focuses on the people of Lake Town. So we skip back a little bit of time to when Smaug left the mountain because he went straight to Lake Town. So we've actually now met Bard as well because thankfully he saw something happening over at the mountain and knew that Smaug was about to descend on Lake Town. So they did have a little bit of time to prepare. Bard was leading a company of archers who were trying to attack the dragon, and he did shoot it with a black arrow, but in the film this black arrow is an enormous thing that could only be shot from a dwarvish windlance, and they'd previously attacked Smaug with it and they already knew where to target. In this instance, the black arrow is just an arrow that's black. It seems to have been passed down by Bard's family to Bard. It happens to be an arrow that he's never missed with, so he kind of feels like it's a lucky arrow, but we have no other evidence to suggest that it's anything other than just an ordinary arrow that's just black. It is his last arrow, so as he goes to shoot Smaug, he notices the slight weak area under the left wing, and that is where he shoots, and Smaug does die, falls into the lake, and is no more. And once they reach the shores of the lake, the master is alive in the book. So the master's alive, everybody's calling out for Bard to be king. The master isn't too pleased about this and says that if Bard wants to start ruling people, then he can go over and do it in Dale, whereas the master is going to remain in charge of Lake Town. Bard seems to like this idea, but kind of puts it on hold for a little bit because there are bigger priorities. They've got to make sure everybody gets shelter and food. They're all wet and ill, and you know, death and disease do start to creep in as a couple of nights go by. And so they're just kind of trying to prepare themselves now for what's going to happen. They do realise that Erebor is now full of treasure and without a dragon. So the people of Lake Town think it might be quite a good idea to go and pay it a visit, at least to seek some kind of compensation for the fact that they've just been attacked by the dragon because the dwarves ousted it from Erebor. And Bard is one of the ones that is interested in that. So in the film, he doesn't really seem to be all that bothered about the treasure. In the book, he's kind of feeling just as motivated by it as everybody else. So they are starting to look towards the mountain. they asked for aid from the King of the Wood Elves. So the King of the Wood Elves was about to march anyway. All the birds have been telling everybody that Smaug is dead. So there's a lot of people now all starting to move towards the mountain. Even Beorn's heard. So a lot of movement towards the mountain, and the King of the Wood Elves has brought food and aid to the people of Lake Town. So we will find out how they all react once they get to the mountain tomorrow.